How's everybody doing out there? Cousin Johnny here, bringing you another show, Buzzing with Cousin. I got a great show today. I got a little bonus. I got not only one guest, I have two guests. And I have the directors of the Carmel International Film Festival, a great event, and it's exciting. We've had over 200 movies filmed right here in the Monterey Peninsula, so why not? Let's do it. So let me introduce our guests before further ado. Our first guest is Annette Anderson. She's got 20 years of television, film industry experience, an actor, a writer, a producer. And I also have Lawrence Roeck. He's a director and a screenwriter. His film Diablo won an award at the San Diego Film Festival. So before further ado, welcome my guests to Buzzing with Cousin. How are we doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for that great intro.
Thank you so much. And a lot of people are kind of that know you. Some people don't know you. Annette, can you give us like a 2-minute memory lane of your career?
I worked for about 8 years on The Simpsons. I worked directly for Matt Groening. I was in that group of people that helped develop Futurama. So I feel really fortunate about that. Prior to working for Matt, I worked for Alan Yuger, who's probably best known for Family Ties and co-authoring Blazing Saddles. And Faye Dunaway, worked for her for about a year.
Beautiful. Wow, that's great. Lawrence, what's your story?
Oh, I just hang out in Annette's shadow and bask in her glow and listen to all of her advice and, try to measure up a little bit. I'm a, local from the Monterey Peninsula. Absolutely love this area and everybody in it. And, pursued Hollywood filmmaking at 19, filmed 6 snowboard movies. Then I started working for Pebble Beach. I did the U.S. Open 2000 video in 2000. Then I worked for KION Channel 46 and became a video journalist. And shortly after that, I started working with Clint and Dina Eastwood, doing all of their video production projects for over 12 years. And that culminated in a career of directing 2 movies with them. One was called The Forger with Josh Hutcherson and Lauren Bacall. That we shot in Carmel, and then the second one was called Diablo, which is Scott Eastwood's first Western. That's Mr. Eastwood, Clint's youngest son. And so I love movie making. I love the Monterey Peninsula, and I love how this area really reflects high quality filmmaking.
Wow, that's really great. Over approximately 200 films have been filmed here, and it was sad when the film festival kind of went into hiding there for 9 or 10 years, and you guys brought it back, which is really great. So congratulations on doing that. I mean, it was really, I remember I was looking up, a friend of mine had like a little project, and I was looking around. I was going, where to enter the film, and I said, Carmel Film Festival. So I got online and everything. I go, it's Carmel Film Festivals. And it was gone. I was like, really? Wow. So I thank you and congratulate you for picking it up and getting it back going again. So did you were sitting down, you guys have all this movie experience. Were you sitting down and enjoying a Pinot Noir, and then all of a sudden you said, let's revise this festival? How did it happen?
That's exactly how it happened. We were sipping Pinot Noir.
I think it was Chardonnay.
Oh, Chardonnay, yeah. No, we really, if I may, Annette, I'll start and then I'll toss it to you. But we didn't want to have a festival. It's not really in our interest, and it's something we really didn't want to do. We regard ourselves as serious filmmakers, and we're also, involved in real estate. But the main thing is the community really wanted it. And when I when I screened my movie Diablo in 2015, I believe, for the Carmel International Film Festival, I thought, what an incredible event. And when it was gone, I was really scared. So Annette and I were here in Carmel. I brought her up here during the pandemic, and people were always asking us, can you start the film festival? And I looked at her, I said, look, you've got the experience, you've got the producing chops, and you have the vision. You can do this if you want to, but I only want you to do it if you really want to. And so it really came back because it was under Annette's guidance and tutelage, and she really had the vision to create a world-class event that would put the area back on the map. So that's our real goal, is to get everybody really behind it and then build an event that's on par with the Cannes Film Festival or Venice Film Festival. The area deserves it. And Annette.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. And, we thought about it long and hard, and thank you. I think you gave me a little bit too much credit there, but I appreciate it. And really, the thing that brought me into it was just thinking about how Lawrence and I initially met. We met through a film festival when Diablo won the San Diego International Film Festival. I was involved there. And I just thought about the connectivity that comes out of a local film festival. You get all the local filmmakers together, and actors, producers, writers. Everybody meets each other that way. And in an era where we need to be able to work together to create our own projects outside of the studio system, there's no better time or place to do that than here.
No better time or place than Monterey Peninsula.
Absolutely. World-class destination.
And then, Johnny, you mentioned, the 200 plus movies that have been filmed on the Monterey Peninsula, and our artistic history is, off the hook. It's absolutely so much more prominent than most other areas in California. We filmed Foolish Wives here in 1924 on Point Lobos. It was the most expensive set in the world at the time.
Yeah, okay,
$1 million. Yeah, they built Monte Carlo on the cliffs at Point Lobos. So we have this long history of tradition here. And we as a community are forgetting that, with filmmaking fleeing the state like crazy to Georgia, to Canada, to all these different places that add a tax credit. We need to put another focus back onto California, on our artistic and filmmaking history. And they just are revealing soon a new tax credit for filmmaking in California. And there are economic zones within California that are going to get this tax credit. And for those that don't know, a tax credit is basically free money to make a movie. If you are making a film, you can get up to 40% of that film underwritten by the state of California. This is how movies are brought to Georgia, how they're brought to Canada, and why they're leaving California. So now that California is matching that tax credit, we have a fighting chance here on the peninsula to bring movie production back. And that's what we really want to do. So yeah, we wanted to start a film festival, but we want to bring movie production back to the peninsula.
That's
so
great.
If I can clarify, it's a 35% tax credit, but if you are able to utilize one of those economic opportunity zones, it'll bump it another 5% to that 40% Lawrence referenced.
Wow,
so there's a great opportunity here.
Yeah, so Seaside and Salinas and a little strip of King City, they have these economic development zones mapped out. Yeah. We can turn, we would never want to turn the Monterey Peninsula into Hollywood, but we can bring hundreds of millions of dollars of movie production and then create a new artistic identity for the Monterey Peninsula.
Beautiful vision for the peninsula, really great. Now, Annette, Lawrence was saying that that you did some research, and this is the longest running film festival in history, or?
Well, I was quite surprised. What I found was that Mildred Taylor started it in 1929. She was married to a famous artist named James Blanding Sloan. And you can look up this history. It's been missed by film historians that we started with the idea of a film festival here with 2 films, international films, in 1929. That's 3 years earlier than the Venice Film Festival, which claims to be the oldest in the world. So it hasn't been continuous here, but I do believe it started here, and I want to honor her legacy. I think it's just amazing history, local film history here.
Yeah, it's kind of a, Johnny, if I may, it's a real surprise to find out that there was a Carmel International in 1929.
Yeah, when you said that, I was going, really?
1932. Venice claims 1932, and 1929 is 3 years earlier than that. So one can deduce what that means.
So let's have a toast to Mildred Taylor.
Wow. Absolutely. I got a cup of coffee here. Cheers to Mildred.
Mildred.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
to Monterey, the Italian history of Monterey. You know, it's such a pleasure to be on your show with the Aliotis.
That was really good. Now, I noticed on your website, you put established 1929, which is great.
Yes.
You put that on your,
established. Yes.
That is really, that's really cool. That's really nice. So let's talk about the festival that's coming up on, what are the dates?
October 2nd through 5th, and that'll be at the Golden Bough Theater in downtown Carmel by the sea.
Okay, now, speaking of the Golden Bough, they did a huge remodel. Wow, what a place. It's that.
Absolutely gorgeous renovation they did. We're very, very pleased to be able to showcase films there from around the world. It's a beautiful facility.
It actually, honestly, it makes the festival, it made the festival kind of world class right out of the gates. Just because Stephen Moore and the PAC rep team, you know, that worked on that theater and got it renovated. And then the incredible donors, you know, Patrice Pastor, and I think it's Bertie Bialek is her name. The people that put up the money to give us that world-class theater. It's a gem on the Monterey Peninsula. And the screen is massive. It's a huge screen. So we brought in a 20,000 lumen projector provided by Epson. Thank you, Epson. And hooked it up and you know, just lit up that whole theater. So we couldn't have been happier. And you know, the interesting thing about the Golden Bough, it has its own history. It has burned down twice by the same play when the same play was being performed. And the play was named By Candlelight. So the Golden Bough has burned down twice by the play Candlelight. And I don't think they have a plan for a third showing. So
I don't think they're going to do it.
Candles.
Yeah, but
So
thanks to them.
Yeah. So every movie that's entered, it's all going to be at the Golden Bough. Then you get a schedule, and it's all at the Golden Bough.
It's at the Golden Bough first, but then you know, as we start growing in our schedule and we outgrow that one theater, then we'll be utilizing different theaters on the Monterey Peninsula. But that's our main go-to right now, the one that's established.
Films are competition, and so those that are deemed worthy of an audience, those are the ones that we screened. So it's a selection process.
Perfect.
We had 28 films last year. It was quite amazing, the quality of films that we had.
We've got an incredible one about George Roeck, and if anybody knows the Blue Dog, that was created by George Roeck, a painter, a famous artist that has now since passed, but he was a local resident and somebody that also too donated a large amount of money to different art programs in the Salinas Valley. So he's a guy that both helped the community and also created the Blue Dog, which Xerox licensed for many millions of dollars. And they have a movie about him that was created, and that's playing at the festival. We're also playing a Clint Eastwood film that he did for the Monterey Bay Marine Sanctuary. It's the history of the Monterey Bay Marine Sanctuary. And then we're playing Don't Pave Main Street, which is the Clint Eastwood narrated and hosted documentary about the history of Carmel by the Sea and paving Main Street, Ocean Avenue. And Annette, what else do we have?
That's all that's been announced right now,
Yeah.
but we've had submissions from all over the world. Last year, films from Canada.
World, yeah, that's really great. Now, can someone submit now, or is it too late?
Absolutely, they can submit at cfest.com. That's CIFFEST.com, and it's still early bird submissions until June 1st, so it's quite affordable right now.
$35.
$35.
Yeah, and if you want your tickets up to 60% off, you can go to CFest, CIFFEST.com. Again, you can go to the website. You can buy early season passes, early bird passes, which are over 60% off.
That's great. Yeah.
Those early purchases of passes, helps finance the film festival. It helps finance all the stuff that we're doing. So we encourage the community to go there, purchase those early. And we've got some incredible sponsors that signed on. I'm going to forget a few of them, but we've got Calhoun Jewelers, we've got Elroy's Market, we've got the Pine Inn, we've got Mission Bistro, we've got all the best restaurants and businesses on the Monterey Peninsula.
You guys are first class.
Yeah.
I just want to say, all you filmmakers out there in Monterey Peninsula, submit your film to the Carmel International Film Festival.
Thank you.
Shout out to them.
Appreciate it. Now that you're saying it, they will do it.
I might even have one up my sleeve. I don't know.
We encourage everybody because, for us, it's really the heart of the film. If it's not a multi-million dollar Hollywood production, we don't care. We want things that represent both the international and local community. One of our films that won last year was Silver Harvest, about the Monterey fishing industry by Steve Roeck.
Yeah,
incredible film. He thought that film was done for and that he wasn't going to get another award, but we gave it the historical Monterey Bay, film award. So I encourage everybody to enter and to try and see, because you never know what reflects our community.
You never know what reflects. When I saw that, I've seen that film before. Then you mentioned it, and then I went and looked at it again. And that's a great film, and really sentimental to me because, I grew up here and my dad fished those sardines, the Silver Harvest. My grandmother worked at where the aquarium is now, was called Hovden Cannery.
Yeah.
They had the lines of, and I remember as a kid, I would walk by and me and a couple of guys, and we would just walk in and they'd be packing sardines and all this heavy machinery. And it was like no big deal. It was like my grandmother would stop, give us a hug. Okay, see ya, bye. But I can imagine now you can't even step foot in anywhere without liability.
Yeah. This is special California history. So one of the main things we want to do with Carmel International Film Festival, Annette really wanted to take a stand up for California history and show people, how incredible our history in the state and in our local area. John Steinbeck was down there writing about Cannery Row. But do the new generations know that? Are they familiar with that history? So that's one of the things that we like to do with the festival and what Annette does so well.
Right now, I want to add that the Western Flyer, the boat that went down with Ed Ricketts and Steinbeck to the Sea of Cortez, the boat is back in Monterey, all refurbished, beautiful. What a project. Well, right now, as we speak, it's back at Sea of Cortez. They reenacted the whole thing, and they're back and they're still there. So that's really historical. there.
Well, I think that's a testament to how people love this area, how people love Monterey, that they were willing to take the original boat and refurbish it and bring it back to life. They literally pulled it off the ocean floor. And if I can add any metaphor for what we want to do with the movie industry here on the peninsula, is we want to bring it off of the ocean floor and bring it to the forefront and use it to honor our history, bring more movie productions here. We don't want to turn the local area into Hollywood. I'm a local. I don't want any more cars running around. But to have a really successful film festival that is 1/100th the footprint of the Concours d'Elegance is something we can all have here on the Monterey Peninsula.
Yeah. Now, on the festival, your categories, can you give me like an example of some categories that you have? Is there like a local filmmaker category, or is there a short or a long or whatever? What do you got?
We have several categories. We have best narrative film, best documentary, best documentary short, best short film, best experimental film, best on the Monterey Peninsula. And that could be local filmmakers, or it could be subject matter that is about Monterey and the environment here. What else we have? We have best foreign short.
Yeah, we have all the regular categories like best international foreign film, best international foreign feature, and then also domestic.
Best editing and best screenwriting. We have screenwriting competitions for both full-length feature films and short projects, whether that's a TV pilot or, a half-hour sitcom or whatever short form people want to write short film. So the screenplay competition has been really lively so far this year. A lot of entries.
And last year, best editing competition in a feature film, which was open to an international cadre of entrants, was won by local Bob Franco. Robert Franco is a world-class editor from Pacific Grove that used to be the lead editor on Candid Camera. And he did a movie called Black Tar Road. So Bob won the international competition last year. And he's from PG, from Pacific Grove. So it shows you the incredible depth of talent we have here on the peninsula, and how we kind of need to all stand up and get behind this festival and, show the world what we got.
Well, Monterey, it's known worldwide, and everybody knows about it. And so you're doing this beautiful festival, and it's like the word is going to come out that, hey, we could, enter the Carmel Film Festival in, the great area of Monterey Peninsula. So I got to give you, both of you, just thumbs up for, doing it, because it was dead in the water like the Western Flyer. You refurbished it and got it going again. So as a Monterey resident,
we got to give some great credit to Aaron Clark and Tom Burns. They are the previous executive directors of the Carmel International Film Festival. I'm not sure they're aware of how deep the history went with Carmel and film in Carmel by the Sea. The ones that did the last iteration of the festival, and they ran an incredible festival. So, they really set the bar high for quality.
They set the bar high, yeah.
Yeah, and we believe that if anything, we should hold that bar and then raise it, and really be grateful for what an incredible job they did. And also be very thankful for Mildred Taylor, and make sure that her history as a female film festival director, the very first on the planet, is recognized. And to have a co-director who's actually really running the majority of the festival. I'm just here, giving a little bit of input here and there. But, to have a female director of Carmel International, following in the footsteps of Mildred Taylor, that makes me happier.
It gets me excited every morning. Great. What else can I do? Because this legacy needs to be spread, and we need to understand what happened here a century ago. It's pretty remarkable for the industry. and just a lucky discovery. I want to add one other thing. She and her husband, James Blanding Sloan, adopted Wah-Ming Chang when he was, I think, 12 years old.
And who is
and
he?
Wah-Ming Chang is an Academy Award-winning film designer.
Really? Wow.
Probably best known for his work on Star Trek. So a lot of the costumes and a lot of the monsters.
The flip phone.
He created the tricorder and the communicator, became the basis for the flip phone. He also designed the headdress for Elizabeth Taylor in Cleopatra. He designed the little sculpture of the baby deer, the fawn, that was used by animators to create Bambi. I mean, his contribution to film is unbelievable, and he did settle back here in Carmel Valley, retired here in his older years, and became a member of the Carmel Art Association, and continued to sculpt and do things. He did the Dennis the Menace sculpture.
Oh,
that
great.
was
Wow.
yeah
At Dennis the Menace
at
Park.
Dennis the Menace Park. Yeah. So
And then also, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you,
it's okay.
Annette, but also too, there's a local touch to this history. I was brought in to help Wah-Ming Chang learn how to do computer editing at 84 years old before he passed. So, you know, to know that his adopted parents started the Carmel International, and then here in 2025, you know, we're following in their footsteps, continuing it, and to know that I actually had a historical touch to this man and helped him learn how to do a computer. I was unsuccessful, but I did come in for a session to try and help him, and found his work to be incredible at that time. So it's like we're the film festival is a time capsule of history that's being revealed in front of people's eyes. It's why we really want people to support it, to buy tickets and be a part of it, because all this history is unraveling as we figure this out and we put this thing together and connect the dots of cinema on the peninsula.
Yeah, I mean, make a night of it. You know, go to the film festival, and then you got beautiful restaurants in Carmel, and you know,
all in Monterey. I mean, we regard ourselves as a Monterey Peninsula institution. Carmel by the Sea is Monterey. It is seaside. It is PG.
Yeah, that's what
We're all one town. We're all one beating heart. Yeah, and we celebrate everybody in this community. Like Hanif Pani, the most incredible artist in Seaside, who did the boat mural that went viral last year. You know, we're trying to work with him to design immersive projection setups for the festival. So we're really trying to bring everybody in. We invite the entire community.
That boat mural was out of this crazy. That was crazy.
It was so funny. I loved it.
I mean,
what a genius artist he is, though. You know,
it was identical. I mean, it was out of this world. I mean, yeah. But anyway, so before I let you go, let's let the listeners know the date again, how to get tickets, and can you run that by me one more time?
That's October 2nd through 5th, and that's going to be at the Golden Bough Theater in Carmel by the Sea. Yes. Tickets and submissions for films, that's all available on our website, which is cifest.com. That's CIFFEST.com.
Yeah, and early birds are on there right now, so you can get them up to 60% off. And we just look forward to seeing the entire community out there, and can't wait to spread the love about how incredible our Monterey Peninsula is.
That's really great. I'm so happy that that you brought this festival back. And I'm so happy that you came on my show, and it's great. So I want to let all the listeners know out there that thank you for tuning in, and cousin Johnny, Annette, and Lawrence, we're going to be out. So everybody have a great day.